Alright, good evening all. Hope you're all well. Hope you can hear me clearly. So this is Dom, Essential RC YouTube channel, back for some more fun flying on this evening, Aerofly RC8, this new version of the Aerofly simulator, and I'm using my Spectrum DX18 transmitter, which I also use for all my radio control planes. This is what I use for. Hold on, let me just turn off the sound on my other PC. Because that wasn't helping at all. So yeah, I use this for controlling all my real radio control planes. So as the other evening, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to play around in Aerofly. Any feedback welcome on what we're doing. Let me just open the chat. That would be handy. So I just need to pop out the chat. Put that over there. Sound. Donald says sound. Stream it now, stream it now. This is exactly what I'm doing. So, what are we starting with? I thought I'd start with the Constellation, which is an awesome scale model. I'm just going to turn up the sound from my side so I can actually hear it. Any issues with the stream, please let me know. Otherwise I'm just going to carry on flying and choosing different things. Requests for flying different things, if that's what you'd like to see. Let's just get this party started and hope everything works. Gear up. So it's basically an awesome simulator if you are a radio control pilot or want to be an RC pilot to flying RC planes. I've been using different versions of Aerofly since it came out. But this is the version 8, and there was actually a patch today with some good fixes, because it is software, you're gonna get fixes to little things that they find. And I'm going to show, actually there was one really cool fix to the VR side of things. Hi Owen, how's Owen this evening? Owen's a regular, big time subscriber to the Essential RC channel. Always nice to see familiar names. I think it's not much over €100, Mr. Vic Thor, but look it up. Look for Aerofly RC8, and the link is should be in the video description for this stream. But you bought it from Steam. I'm curious as to, if you bought the software off Steam, then how are you controlling it? Do you buy? Because I would have. Not the version I got. Well, I upgraded. No, Aerofly. Because you have to get the cable for your transmitter, or a dummy transmitter that you can only use with this piece of software and not with actual radio control models. So I can really chuck it around. Now what I did the other day, which helped, I hope you can see that, that's the transmitter. So you can see how I am moving the sticks. Don't think this model is especially aerobatic. But we're going to try a few Aerofly, yeah. Let's land this one. So I put the flaps down. Everybody knows what flaps are, right? Everybody's been on a plane before. So we slow down, and then we put the gear down, gear down. Ah, okay, you meant Aerofly. Now I'm not surprised it's not on Steam. I think you have to buy it from Icarus, and you can download it from them. Does it have a cub? I'm pretty certain it might have. We'll have a look at Owen. How about that? First landing of the evening, and it's a greaser. Flaps up. I won't bother taxiing back, that'd be a rather time-consuming thing to do. So we'll go somewhere else. So what else can we do? We can go. It does off, I think, real flight as well. I still think it's the best transmitter that you can get. So you can do indoor. So here was what we were doing the other day. So this is a little indoor model. That is super light. You can fly in nice tight spaces. Nice rolling circle. Ah, you've got the real flight controller, right? Okay, so you pay a bit extra. So yeah, as Owen says, this what they call rolling Harriers, so a nose up attitude, and it's I think the most difficult thing that you can do with an RC plane. Personally, what's the hardest thing I find to do, because you're using everything. You're using ailerons, you're using the elevator, you're using the rudder, you're using the motor, and you have to coordinate all of these to keep it rotating and the nose up. You can do things like, or a knife edge circuit. It's very easy to get disorientated. So you can see how I'm using the rudder, and I'm using the elevator. Swap the other way. How about that? I haven't done this in a long time. This is what makes it fun, actually, that you can practice all these different types of flying, and I think it simulates it quite well, and certainly trains your brain for all the stick movements that you'd have to make while you're flying. What it can't simulate is the fact that you could be flying a very expensive model, and I fly lots of different planes, but I've got jets. I've got a couple of jets which have got proper gas turbine engines in them. They're quite expensive, and you just the adrenaline that starts flowing when you are flying something that actually costs quite a lot of money, and you've saved up all your pennies. You can't really recreate that with a simulator, because all you have to do is press the space bar and you start again if you crash. Can't do that if you're flying the real thing. So quite relaxing to fly slowly. Pretty cool, huh? Does it hover, I wonder? Not easily. So I will take requests for different models you might want to see flying. Owen's asked for a cub, I'll do that next. But anybody, I'll be cheeky, if anybody makes a small donation, what they call on YouTube a super chat, then you go to the top of the queue, and I'll even do extended flying time. Hey, I have to make this thing fund itself a little bit, so any donations are appreciated. I'm not going to labour the point, but everything helps. So there we go. Super low inverted. All right, before we finish with this one, Owen wants super low inverted. So of course, when you're flying inverted, the controls change. So when I move the stick for the ailerons for roll, it goes the opposite way to if I was the right way up. Yeah, quite a few. I've got P-51 Mustang, and I think there's a Corsair. Cheers, Nintrance, good to see you. He's off, it sounds like. So there we go, that's a little indoor model, quite a lot of fun. Should we do a jet next? Let's pick a scenery first. A scenery, any scenery. Good Lord, Bennett Field. Jacob, how you doing, man? His name is Jacob. My 6-year-old boy wants you to say hello. His name is Jacob. Jacob, how you doing? Thanks for joining us on this session, live streaming. Quite new to Essential RC, but you know, I like to share the fun I'm having. I like to practice, and if I'm practicing, then you may as well join in. So we're going to go to Bennett Flying Field in Nevada, in the USA. I'm going to pick a jet. I'm going to pick the Aeromacchi MB339 from Italy. Love Italy, one of the my favourite places in Europe to go. Yes, is there a Spitfire Nico? Oh, I need to change something. Yep. I'm not sure. There must be a Spitfire, mustn't there? What did I need to do? Canopy, cockpit, open. Good Lord. Keyboard, 8. I really don't want my smoke to turn on and it to open the canopy at the same time. That would be a disaster. That's okay on some models, but sure as heck not on the MB339. Okie dokie. So just checking out the stream. All looks good. Had a few new subscribers since I've gone online. That's nice. Had nearly over 1,000 subscribers yesterday. Going mad, and I'm very close to 200,000 subscribers, which is crazy because it was only 3 months ago that I reached 100,000 subscribers, but 200,000? That's mad. RC is getting more and more popular despite what they say. Thanks for that. Follows RC. Again, thanks to Jacob. He's 6 years old. 6 years old. 6 years old! I mean, what was I doing when I was 6 years old? I certainly hadn't started the hobby. What a great time to start getting into RC if you are 6 years old. He's got a long career ahead of him in RC or any other hobby that he might want to. So many different hobbies you can get involved with, but even the RC hobby is truly so diverse, isn't it? There's so many things within the RC hobby. Planes, and even within planes, scale flying, jets, aerobatics, F3A, pylon racing. And that's before you get onto helicopters, and there are different styles of helicopters. So scale helicopters or 3D aerobatic helicopters, or what else, gliders. Well, interesting comment that from Do RC. There is a bit of doom and gloom around the whole RC thing at the moment. There is a few nutters out there flying their drones close to airports. We had Heathrow Airport shut down for a couple of hours, a couple of days ago, because of a suspect drone, and then Gatwick was closed for a small number of days, I think. So yeah, and I know when things happen, the authorities are inclined to group us all together, regardless of what you fly. If it's radio controlled, and they people start thinking of anything that's radio controlled as a drone, which is not the case, is it? And the vast majority of us are well behaved, and are affiliated with the AMA or the BMFA, pay our third-party insurance, and fly at club airfields or places where it is safe to fly, because even the smallest RC planes, helicopters, whatever, can be potentially dangerous, and we don't want to hurt anybody when we're doing this hobby that we love. Right, should we put the smoke on? Very patriotic. Yeah, well, it's part of the problem's the press as well. They do love jumping on these things. They've got to sell newspapers, haven't they? Or get subscribers, unfortunately. It's true. I think it is remote, but I guess their view is that even if it's remote, if it happens once would be too many times. Slow roll. Beautiful plane, the MB339. Scale planes, Owen, I hear you. I hear you, Owen. I will get to some scale Warbirds momentarily. So I'm going to be on for quite a while. I'm free until 9 o'clock tonight. That's Greenwich Mean Time. Do I have many scale planes? I do. I've got the Spitfire from Hobby King, Avios. I've got a real mix. I've got a 35% scale extra 330 with a 120cc engine. Yeah, I've got some nice planes. I just don't get time to fly them because I'm running this YouTube channel, aren't I? So filming and editing tend to take over these days. Not like the YouTube channel's my day job, actually. I have a day job. I do this in my spare time. So let's turn the smoke off. Let's put the flaps down and the gear down. Always nice to practice landings. Well, as DoRC says, it's a strange time. We can only hope that the AMA and the BMFA represent our interests and make sure that our hobby can continue. Oh, F3A. Vic Thor 1999. I'm going to have to give that some thought. Depends. You know what? It depends a lot on how much you want to spend in this game. There are some not pure but pretty good aerobatic foamy type models. I would look at, say, FMS or planes on hobbyking.com. Specifically things by Durafly or Avios. I'm with you, Aeronautics. I love the A10 as well. There's no A10 in this game, this simulator, which is a bit unfortunate. As we open the canopy, some of these planes have a nice scale feature where you can do that. Right, so I was asked for scale stuff. So we've got a B-17, C-160 Transel. We've got aerobatic stuff like a Kristen Eagle. We looked at the Constellation already. We got a DH-89 de Havilland. Aerobatic, we've got an extra 330. I think I was being asked about Warbirds. Is there a Spitfire? There's a Spitfire. I think it's quite small though. We've got a P-38. I mean, there's a huge choice. There's so many models in this. So Owen, come on, tell me. FW190, FLQ Corsair, lots. So tell me, what do you want me to do? You said cub, didn't you? Cubbity cubbity cub cub. You would have thought there'd be a cub. There's no cub. There was something very similar to a cub. I can't remember what it was. Oh. Super Decathlon? I kind of think it's in the same kind of style as a cub. Should we give that a go? It won't. As Ate, the E-Flight Viper jet. Now, you know what, I would have been quite interested in that. It's a nice looking model, but if I'm right, does it run on 4 or 6S? I've got a feeling it was 6S, and I just thought it had very strange, or not strange, not a regular type of capacity, an odd capacity, like it had to be 3000 milliamp. So 6S 3000, wasn't it? Just seems a bizarre. I don't have any of those, and what I do hate doing is buying batteries that I can only use with one plane or jet. I've got plenty of 6S 5000 packs that I use in different models, quite big jets, but I'm not going to go and buy another. And if you have to get a pack for a plane, you're not going to buy one, are you? You need to get 2 or 3. So if you go down the flying field, you're all charged up and you can have at least 3 flights. So you end up spending the same again as you spend on the model. So I wish they'd think about things like that. It's just, I think that's daft. Should have made it a little bigger. Made it a little bigger and allowed it to use regular 6S 5000 packs, in my opinion. Low and slow for Owen. How's that? Now Hangar 9 did make this, and until quite recently there was a Horizon Hobbies display team in the UK, headed up by the rather nice guy called Asus Stevens, but unfortunately Horizon Hobbies and therefore Hangar 9 pulled out of the UK. no office over here now for service or anything like that. So the team is no more. So we don't get to see this type of model flown on the UK RC show circuit. So there you go. That is the Decathlon. I shall land. Oh, and you haven't said which Warbird. Man, give the guy an opportunity. I'm giving you a freebie, and you're not telling me which Warbird I should be flying. So if you don't tell me, I'm going to just pick one. No brakes. Jets have brakes, which is quite a nice feature, but I wonder if the door's open. No. Don't know why I'm looking down. No. Right, so I'm going to pick a Warbird FW190. I can up it to a 6-meter wingspan. About that. I just need to think. I need to up the volume. Now he says, I've just selected it and you tell me an ME109. I don't, I'm not a fan of the ME109. I don't think it's a very good looking, and there isn't one anyway, thank God. We'll try the Corsair, since Donald has asked nicely. I don't know how good this is. That's not bad, is it? Nice flaps, canopy, slides backwards and forwards. No smoke by the looks of it. So here we go. Anyway, how are we all doing this evening? What day is it? It's Thursday. It's like it's the first full week back to work after Christmas. Man, it has seemed like a long week. And but it's Friday tomorrow. Yippee! Here we go. F4U Corsair. Take off slowly. You notice how the tail wheel... What am I doing? Now, this is the thing with Warbirds, tail draggers, is they are quite difficult to steer sometimes. Space bar. Here we go. Bit of flap. See, the tail wheel comes up and then mains off, and then we put the landing gear up. You're doing GCSEs, Owen, I feel for you, buddy. We've all been there. But, studying is not for that large a part of your life. Whoops, sorry, that was a very non-scale roll. And then you're out into the big wide world. Earn a bit of money. It's very hard to fly and watch chat at the same time. Nice loop coming up. Let's do a loop. Over the top. Throttle back. And we just let it come down nicely. It's going to almost pull up by itself, almost. How about slow pass, so I can put down flaps. And we'll turn and we'll come back the other way. I'm not sure that a Corsair this big would fly this slow in real life, but who cares? There's nothing quite as good, and I have filmed big radio controlled Corsairs before with big radial engines. There are a few around, and they really do sound awesome. Never seen a real one though. Oh, I thought I had the canopy open there. What happened there? Ugh, it's annoying. Anyway, that's the Corsair. Let's put the retracts down. Menace GTR. Oh, is that right? Some of them won't port over. So these are custom models that you've found on the web and loaded up, and they won't work with RC8. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, it's a bit slow, too slow, isn't it? But who else? How about that? Gorgeous. Very nice. I'm sure the canopy. I thought I had the canopy sliding backwards. Oh, I tell you what, I changed the. I'm an idiot, aren't I? I swapped it over to a key. Can't remember what I changed it over to. Never mind. That'll do. Flaps up. Oh, so many things we could do. Should we do something wild and crazy? Azate! Man, thank you so much for the donation. £5. Keep doing what you're doing, bring RC content to us all the best. That means a lot, buddy. Thank you very much for the 5. Thank you very much. Certainly appreciate that. If you got any requests as Ate, then please do. But thank you very much for that super chat donation. So I've just been asked for. It's a good thing that you asked on the forums. I think you should be able to do that. Maybe they'll correct that. So extra 330. Should we do that very quickly? I've got one of these. I've got one of these made by Krill. It cost me such a stupid amount of money, and I've only flown it 3 or 4 times. Smoke on. And again, I feel quite relaxed flying this in a simulator. But good lord, when I'm flying my own quite expensive extra 330, I'm shaking like a proverbial leaf. So really, I think after I've flown it about 50 times, maybe I'll get more confident. You see, I do that, it doesn't matter, I wrecked it. All I have to do, spacebar, I'm back in the game. Oh my word. See, I didn't mean to do that. Did I choose the right one? I've got a feeling. Oh, maybe I did. I was wondering if I hadn't chose the extreme setup. So we'll do this a little bit of hovering around. Right in my face. So this is what I want to be doing this summer with my own extra 330. I will take some pictures and video of me standing, hovering my extra 35% scale. So it's 2.5 meter wingspan, hovering it right in front of me like this, going, "Rah!" That would be quite exciting. I know there are pilots out there who find that quite easy, but I'm not one of them. I'll be. That's what I'm going to be aiming for. Hi James, how you doing? James is a regular. Again, thanks to Aste for the donation. The super chat, very kind of you, sir. Do you like that? That is a 3-point landing. Getting quite a few requests now, but I'm inclined to do something a little bit crazy. So bear with me. I just thought of this today while I was sitting at my desk doing some work, and I thought, what crazy stuff could I do? So this is the MiG-29. You'll notice at the back the nozzles move, and that is because it is thrust vectored. Hey Nick, how you doing? Nick Webster has given me lots of fantastic advice, especially on driving simulations. So what was I going to do? Balloon pop. Oh man, I thought of this today. Can I pop these balloons using the MiG-29? What do you reckon? What do you reckon? What do you reckon? What do you reckon? I have to pop there are 20 balloons, and I have to pop as many as I can using the jet. How do you think I'm going to do? How do you think? So, any guesses? This might be a disaster, but I just thought of it today. I thought it'd be a bit of a giggle. Here we go. Now I wouldn't actually try this unless I had a thrust vector jet, because I would be forever going left and right. That didn't work. Depth perception, I think, is really difficult. This is very hard to keep enough. Ah, did I miss? I'm going right through the middle of them. Oh, for God's sake, come on. That's a third of my time gone already. Am I not going close enough? No. This is some of my best flying. I'm alright, Nick. Yeah, not a bad day today. Although this isn't going very well. I thought this is going to be easy. This is going to really impress people. Oh my word. Oh no, there's something wrong here. Surely. Oh, I'm looking at the balloons and I've... Oh. Right, okay, can I just try it with the extra 330 to prove that these balloons actually do flipping pop? I said flip. I don't swear. Not on a live stream anyway, if there are any children watching. Flippity jig. Oh, hold on, I need to start the balloon contest again. Just as he breaks his propeller. Balloon pop. Here we go. Here we go. Surely Dom can burst some balloons. Yes! I heard one. I'm down to 18. 2. That's 3. Sorry if I'm pulling funny faces, but this is not easy as it looks. Getting there. Oh, come on, come on. Yay! How am I doing? 12. I'm nearly halfway through. Let's try and get this one up here. No. You see, this is trying to put a... Oh. What? Again, it's all depth perception. They're closer. No, come on. Yes, yes. 9 left. Ah. And I can't touch the ground. I don't think that would end the game. Oh, just tapped that one, didn't I? Oh God, I'm getting tired now. Lost concentration. There's some that are very close to the ground. Right, slowly, patience, patience. Ah! I put the stick the wrong way. Oh, 9 left. No, 8 seconds left. Yes, got one. New high score. So that's kind of a good way of testing your ability to put a plane exactly in a place, you know, in the sky. That's a bit of fun, There's also a limbo as well, which I'll try a little bit later on. So anyway, landing. Don't know what's going on there, but we're down. Alrighty, now. Should we try something different? Oh, quiet. Was it popping? So, what is new in Aerofly RC8 is VR, support for virtual reality. So I'm going to try that. I have to start it up in a different way. So if I close this and I start the VR version of Aerofly RC8, I just want to check that you can actually see this on the stream. Looks like you can. So we're good. So what do I need to do here? Or what am I going to do? So the great thing I think about VR would be, well, let's take this as an example, and I could take these off and put on my Oculus Rift goggles. I hope this is working for you. Oh, it might not be for me actually. Hold on. Yeah. And I can look around. You see, whereas before it was automatically following the plane, and now I can look around wherever I want to. So how does this work? First time I've tried this, so it's not. All I want it to do is to reload the plane then. Oh, it's not working. Why is it not? Why is it not? Oh, here we go. So many buttons you have to press. So this is probably more realistic of you, although I don't think it's so good on a photo. This is a kind of a photographic, but maybe it makes the whole experience a bit more immersive and real, like you're at the flying field, because you are able to look where you want to look, as opposed to the software deciding where you look. So I don't know, I think that's quite good. You see, so I can look over here or I can look over there. It might be quite good in multiplayer mode. Maybe we should try that and see if that works. So let's land this. And so this is another feature of Aerofly. I can go to an online session and fly with other pilots. Why not? As he lands, scrapes the wingtips on his extra 300. So let's do that. See if this works. So I do join. I hope you're still seeing this on the stream. As far as I can see, you are. Although it says there are no pilots in any of these places. That's a shame. Oh, you know why it might be? Because they're all running RC8. So well, so I think I've joined one, but there's no one there. So let's try. Well, that US Bennett Field connect Norbert. Is it try thinks I'm Norbert? Well, there's no one else here, unfortunately, so it's just showing me. That would be kind of nice if there were other people here. I strongly suspect this is running on an Aerofly RC8 server. So if you have an earlier version of Aerofly, then you're not going to be able to join the same sessions. That is what I am suspecting is the case, because if I go to multiplayer disconnect and multiplayer join, it says that here. Server is running RC8. So no, I think somebody was asking, Menace GTR was asking, can I join MP with 7.5? Well, you can, but it will be an RC7 specific, so you wouldn't be able to join me. Upgrade, man, upgrade. So there we go. So let's cancel out of that. So what else can I show you? I'm just thinking of things we could try. So drones we haven't done, quadcopters, drones, whatever you want to call them. For example, here's a cool bit of kit. It's a hover car. P, wasn't it? P. I think this is kind of interesting. thing set. So let's see if this works. So the view I've been using up until now is simulating me standing as a pilot on the pilot line flying my models with my transmitter. But heck, is that not going to work? It doesn't work in VR. Ah, I thought I was going to be able to switch between different views, but I can't. So what I'm going to do, I think I've done enough of VR, so I'm just going to shut this down and go into the non-VR version. Please hold. So I'll put these down. I just wanted to show you that. I thought it's a kind of cool feature they've added in. But I think VR is better in racing games, flying and... Right. Oh, come on, no. Oh, it was it F? Oh, hold on. F1. Yeah. Camera settings 1 to 4. Not working. Why is that not working? Or is it because it's this model? Was doing this earlier, or is it because of the scenery I'm in? Let's load a different one. We want a computer generated one. So like this one. Maybe that's the reason. Yes. So it won't work with the photographic one. So this is simulating FPV, first person view, as if you've got a camera in the thing that is flying, whether it be a drone, a plane or whatever, and you're wearing FPV goggles like Fat Sharks or something like that. So I can take off and I can fly as if I'm the pilot. So this is relatively slow and stable, but there are racing drones. There's a racing drone that you could use. It's going to be quite a lot quicker. So I think this is kind of cool. Ah! Not as easy as it looks. Not easy at all, actually. So I'm going to try something different. I could try this with a... Whoops, I didn't do escape key. I can try a different quadcopter, the Vendetta. For example, I've scaled it up. This is what it looks like. So it's basically like a carbon frame, 4 brushless motors. You see the camera at the front, and then it's got the lithium polymer battery. Looks like a 4-cell lithium polymer battery, Velcro strapped to the back, with the video transmitter antenna at the back. That's the typical layout for these things. So let's go into FPV mode. I'm actually going to reset it. Why don't we do this view so you can see it in front. Now I'm in a mode where it's preventing me from rolling upside down, which is kind of typical of racing drones. I've forgotten what they call that mode, but there's acro mode is where you can just flip it any way that you want. But I've forgotten how I can set that up so I can flip it. So There are a number of different paths I can take. Let's take the difficult one. Uh-oh. I crashed. See, I made it through the door, but I didn't make it on the way out. Let me just get chat window. I haven't looked at chat for a little while. There are 15 in 7.5 on the same field. I know. So, no, tell them to upgrade. Menace. Tell them to upgrade. I don't even know what Isaiah is talking about. He's maybe he's smoking something. Let me just go to assign controls. Here we go. Flight mode, normal or acro. I'm hoping that's it. So let's go here, and I do 9. Yes. This is what I want. So this is what the pros use. So you can go a lot faster because you can really tilt it forwards. Oh, I didn't. I need to press 9 again. Here we go. Whoa! Obviously, the more you tilt it forwards, the more likely it is to go down. So I'm actually going to put it in proper on-board mode. Wow! So I can do flips and aerobatics and all that type of stuff. Let's try and follow our course. I haven't flown FPV for a long time actually. I'm going to take the easy route this time. And then we're going to try a plane over some water. People want to scratch my nose while I'm doing this. There you go. I quite like that. That's a good way of practicing your drone flying FPV skills. You know, if you're wearing a pair of drone FPV goggles and you've got a camera sending back at your video feed to those goggles that you're wearing. Whee! That's quite nice how it shows the flight path. I thought I'd be rubbish at this. Oh look, tube! I can't touch the sides of the tube. Ah no, I crashed! So easy, not easy, it takes a lot of practice. Let's try it with a plane. It's going to have to be a small plane, relatively. So what should we pick? There's a Piper J3 Cub. Funny how you find things when you're not actually looking for them. Owen was asking earlier. How about the S-Back? We'll leave it at that size. Standard or Thunderbolt. Oh, I like that. How cool is that? So look, there we go. And what I'm going to do is go into FPV mode. So as if I've got a FPV camera in the cockpit of that plane and I'm standing or sitting there with a set of FPV goggles on. This is what it's simulating. And you can buy, look on hobbyking.com, you can pick up a set of FPV goggles quite cheaply, maybe 50 to 100 quid, and there are lots of FPV planes out there. So I'm just choosing, you know, different things to do, but if you've got a request, then feel free to jump in and ask. If you want to make a small donation, then that gets you to the top of the queue. It's called a YouTube Super Chat. You can use PayPal or credit card. You know, every little donation helps the Essential RC channel grow and do this type of stuff. But what you should do as a minimum is subscribe. That's a kind of a no-brainer, because we do so much RC related stuff, and even and sim gaming stuff at the moment. At least it's a bit quicker, isn't it, than using a drone. Quick roll, just showing off. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go through the oh my god, did it, look at that. Not inverted though. Ah well, never mind. If you don't try, you'll never know whether you can do it. How about I try it with a jet? So I was flying the MB339 earlier. Should we try with that? So this will be even quicker. I'm going to reduce the size of it. Hang on. I must be mad. Here we go. And we're airborne. You have to think about my turns way before I have to make them. Pretty snazzy, huh? I like this. Quite cool. Oh no, I don't want the side view. That's a cool view. Doesn't make it easy to fly. But it's nice seeing the jet. Oh, we're going to go through the tube again. This could be messy. Yes. Wow. Not easy. Jose Dragon is asking me, could you help me grow in YouTube? Buddy, you know that I'll be honest with you, there are no shortcuts to growing your YouTube channel. The thing you have to do is just do what you enjoy doing. And if you do that, then that will show in the content that you put on YouTube. It's as simple as that. So I didn't start with YouTube, I started with my hobby, and I've been filming what I've been doing for the last 8 or 9 years. So it's as simple as that. It's like, find something that you are passionate about, enthusiastic about, motivated about, and go and video that. Because a lot of people, what they do is they think, what's a thing that will make me money on YouTube? And they'll go and pick something. I'm trying to think of something. Construction toys, right? You know, something like that. But they're not that interested by it. So you do it for a couple of months, and then it's like you get bored. RC stuff, I could never get bored of it. It's something that I've enjoyed for so long, even as a kid. So Mel Derek is asking me, what am I using? So I'm using my own transmitter. It's a Spectrum DX18. I use it for everything that I fly. Everything from small foam planes, indoor planes, through to my bigger jets, which have got proper gas turbine jets in them. I use it for everything because I trust it. It does everything I need to do, and I've never had a problem with it. Now, if you don't have a transmitter, then if you go to and you want to buy Aerofly that I'm using on the computer now, you can buy a dummy transmitter that you can just use with the software, but not use with a actual radio control plane. It costs a little bit more. I think probably 150, 200 euros, pounds, dollars. Look it up. That is an option. But because I have my own transmitter already, then I buy the software and I buy the cable to connect the PC to my transmitter. And you have to buy it with the game, because it only works with the game. Because otherwise you could just go and copy the software from somebody, couldn't you? Or it's their way of controlling the licensing of game, if you like. Right, will this work? No. So there you go. That's the transmitter I'm using. It's not the tidiest radio. It's had a lot of use. It's a Spectrum DX18 Gen 1. They don't even sell this version anymore. There's a DX20. There's a DX8. So this has got 18 channels. It's got lots of knobs and switches, because if you want to control lots of different things on a jet, for example, jets have a lot of different things to control: landing gear, lights, all the different control surfaces, maybe an opening cockpit, or lots of different things you can do the more channels you have. Right, okay. Let's try something different. Galaxy. This is kind of an interesting one, and we'll just go to regular view, big plane, and see, I'm getting loads of new subscribers this evening, which is nice. Hawk Field. Let's have a look at this. not so keen. Oy, 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 oy. Let's try here. Lee Vining Airport. Oh, Ski Man. Yeah, Spectrum been going quite a long time now, haven't they? Not as long as Futaba and other brands, but fair while. Excuse me. Been a long day. Here we go. Front nose wheel up. Main gear up. Retracts up. Main gear up. This looks quite at home against this scenery, doesn't it? I like that. Right, so I'm going to go for another half an hour. Again, any requests welcome. If you feel so inclined to make a super chat donation, that would be gratefully received. Because anything we do get, we reinvest in the channel. You know, there are always ways we can improve, but it helps to if people help us along the way. Quite aerobatic, this thing. So I'm going to chuck it about a bit, show you what it can do. So a loop coming up, so speed is important. Loop coming at the bottom of the loop, and we pull up, getting a bit of altitude. Oh, hold on, I've fluffed up there, I've stalled. So it's going to loop. That wasn't the type of loop I was intending to do. We'll try that again. So I will dive this time. Another subscriber helping me towards my short-term goal of 200,000 subscribers on the Essential RC YouTube channel. And another subscriber. I think we've had about 30 or 40. Jose from Ecuador. Wow, we get some, I tell you what, we get people from all over this beautiful planet. Okay, we're coming in, we've got a bit of speed. Pulling up. Vic has got a request. Oh, I hope I've got enough height. Woo! Like that, throttle up. USE Explorer glider. I don't know what that is. Yeah, Spectrum were first. And do you remember the days before 2.4 gigahertz radios? Do you remember that? Oh, that was painful. So 2.4 gigahertz transmitters, computer transmitters, being frequency agile. In that you don't. Oh my god, I got away with that. You don't have to worry about, you know, controlling which plane you're controlling, because you bind your transmitter to your plane, to the receiver in the plane. But back in the day, when some of us started this beautiful hobby, and we were using 35 megahertz transmitters, you had to have a crystal, like a little component that you put in the receiver that had to match the frequency that the crystal was on in your transmitter. not only that, but you had to make sure that nobody else was on that frequency. So if you were on 25, for example, you had to have a crystal in your transmitter and a crystal in your receiver in the plane that were on that. But you also had to make sure that nobody else was. And the way that we did that is that we had a pegboard with all of those valid frequencies. Can't remember what they were now, it's so long ago, but let's say it was 20 to 30, and I picked 25. I would go and get that peg, and I would put it on. It's like a little pennant or flag. You put it on your transmitter to make sure everybody else knew that you were on that, and they didn't do that, because if they came along and they put in a crystal of 25 in their transmitter and turned it on, they would interfere with your plane, and it would inevitably crash. So you don't have that problem with modern computer radios, but a few years ago that was the way it worked. It was painful. Right, so just an inverted, and then I'm going to go exploring for the USE Explorer glider. I'll be very disappointed if I can't find it. I'm assuming you've checked that it's actually there, Ski Man. Oh no, Vic Thor was asking. Here we go, nice inverted pass. Don't see that every day. Alright, so I'm just gonna... Whoa! I took my eye off the plane. Sorry for USE glider is only Explorer glider. That is his name. Okay. But it is in Aerofly RC8. I'm hoping that you know that is the case. Here we go. Rocking and a rolling. Coming in to land. Oh yeah. And how often did we bend those antennas? That was the thing with 35 megahertz radios with their massive long telescopic aerials that you would extend and then trip over and break and then have to go home. Whereas that is the antenna on the, it's just a solid antenna, it doesn't need to be so long, and it's protected inside the case. Anyway, so Explorer. No. USE? No. I don't know. Vic Thor, where is this glider you are talking about? While you are thinking about that, shall we do this, and we'll load an appropriate scenery if I can find it. Here we go. Let me take you to Switzerland. Let me just check. That's not very helpful. Ah, that's what I needed. Whoops. Okay, so we'll put the wheels up and we will... How do we hand launch? Da 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 da. I don't think it's actually on there. Can anybody spot hand launch? Multiplayer, commonly used functions, recording, rewind, glider towing. Haven't tried that. Might be a good thing to try. Oh, come on. Where is it? I don't see it. Ah. Oh. There was definitely... I don't have to do it that way. I can just do this. Now, this is quite good because this is a powered glider. I think it is like the Arcus E. Okay, we'll try that in a minute. So you see this has got a pod on top, and I can retract that pod. So imagine you're in Switzerland, you're just outside Zurich, you've come out to the mountains, and you've got out your 4-meter glider, you put it out together, you just chucked it off the mountain. Look at this scenery. You can stay up for hours flying gliders, because what you're doing is you're looking for thermals. And you've got the Alps in the background. Let's turn off the transmitter, because it just spoils the view, doesn't it? Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. You could just sit there for the afternoon, drinking a nice beer, flying your plane, your big glider. Occasionally doing a bit of aerobatics. So loopy-loop. Or stally stall. Oh my god! I'm not sure what that happened there. I crashed. So let's pretend I didn't do that. Let's try a different one actually. Aircraft load true scale. This one for example. Anybody want to buy me a beer? Bob Ross of RC, that I am. I'm the online Bob Ross. And thanks for joining me. Oh! Wasn't looking where I was going. Beautiful, eh? So we've got about another 20 minutes of this live stream. Been going for an hour and a half already. Been going for an hour and a half. Would you believe? So if you are new to the Essential RC YouTube channel and you're enjoying this stream, then why not subscribe? We do lots of different stuff, not just this live streaming, but reviews of different exciting new products, for example. Trying out new games, whether it be RC games, simulators, or full-size simulators, driving or flying. Also travel during the spring and summer months, travel around to quite a lot of the UK shows, RC shows, and film some of the amazing models that the pilots take and fly there. Though just lots of stuff. I publish a video nearly every day and doing live streaming. So if you would enjoy that type of thing, then please subscribe. You could also, if you're feeling very generous, contribute by buying a super chat, which you'll see a little $ in the chat window. Click that and you might to make a donation to help us improve the channel and just bring you more stuff. What I do actually, let's just get a bit of height, all I have to do is press the H key to do that. So make a turn. I just want to do some aerobatics. So dive into the valley, pull up. You say the way the wings bend, just like the real gliders do. Don't think this glider this size will roll, but we'll try. Oh, I tell a lie. Look at that. There's a roll. Pretty good. Come back the other way. Patreon? Blimey. You're joking, Ski Man. Patreon doesn't seem to work that well for RC channels. Full scale roll, yeah. How about that? Never been in a glider myself. You know, even though I love this RC hobby, I'm not a great fan of flying. I'm really not. I only fly when I really have to. But I would not do it as a leisure activity. I'm just a bit queasy about that type of thing. Nice. Right. Is it possible to land this thing, do you think, on the slope? So to bring out the air brakes, I have to put the throttle right down to the bottom, and that's how they work. So you'll see them pop up on either side of the wing, like that. There, see? And what I've done there is dismantled the wings from the fuselage, so it's easier to put back in the car. That's my story anyway. Okay, right. I did float planes yesterday. It was altogether quite a bit disappointing. So should we try another jet? The F-104 is quite impressive, although not at this particular location. Where should we go? Bennett Field again? Should we go back to Bennett Field? Ooh. Yeah, I quite like Bennett Field. Ah, here's a good one, I think. Tucson? Modelplex. Yep, and that is how you bin a glider. We've all done it, and they all end up that way in the end. If you enjoy doing this hobby. Right, okay, here we go. So, flaps. Nose wheel up, and gear up. Oh, I know what we'll try next. The SR71 is quite an interesting one. Pulling around for our first pass. Don't get much lower than that. Climb, climb, climb. Half roll. Pulling over the top. Full throttle. Not the most aerobatic of aircraft, but I don't think that was the point of it in its day. There aren't any 104s flying these days, sadly. All got decommissioned many years ago. Another subscriber. Oh, I'll try that again. That was quite fun. Knife edge. So we roll it 90 degrees from level flight. Oh, come on, I'm coming straight. Like that. I'll try that once more. I was a bit far, not far out enough to get lined up. That's the thing with jets, they move so quickly. Look at that big crowd watching. They're amazed at my F-104 skills, flying skills. So we're coming in low and fast. And roll it over. Wasn't quite low enough in my opinion. Try that again. And this is the thing, flying RC jets, they get small very quickly. I've got a composite ARF ultra flash and that does about 250 miles an hour. You can't blink. Oh, come on. That's better. And it's nice to roll out that way. Okay. Over the top, throttle back. I'm going to bang in the flaps. Landing gear down. Bring it around. Bit of rudder. Bit of power. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Oh my word. Nearly went in. Hey, that jet that I fly, the Ultra Flash, has got a P160SX jet cat engine. Menace GTR is asking, you're looking at the Fanatec direct drive to replace the belt drive that I've got. So, not at the moment. I would have got the direct drive if it was out, if it was available. And the date that they had it being available was actually just before Christmas. And I'm watching the website and thinking, I'm going to wait until this comes out and goes in stock on about the 10th of December, waiting for it. And then they changed the date to something like April. So I thought, oh, look at that, that's a very non-scale way of parking. So they put it back and I couldn't wait. So I just went for the Club Sport. I don't think it's actually going to make a huge amount of difference, other than maybe the force in the force feedback, not bothered by that. And a minute difference in precision. I don't think I would notice it. I don't think most people will notice it. So it's like 2 or 3 times the cost of the unit I've got here. Maybe in a couple of years I'll upgrade to that, but I don't see the immediate need. I don't see the immediate need. Right, so said I'd try the SR-71 Blackbird. Look at this. This is crazy plane. Oops, I didn't need to do that. What's this? So the other thing as well, I'm trying this different layout on the stream as well, so you can see me down the bottom left. Got my little tip jar above me, and then the chat on the other side, who the newest follower is, blah blah blah. I just think it's a bit nicer than the regular boring setup. So let's visit somewhere else. How about here? No, not there. Benden Liechtenstein. Looks a bit of a small location to me. I don't think that's appropriate. Flagstaff, that's an indoor area. Half Moon Bay is quite short. Hawkfield, Nebraska. That's alright. That'll do. Let's put our SR71 up the end of the runway. Here we go. So what I like to do is put the brakes on, wheel brakes on, throttle up. No, that's brakes on. Throttle up, and release. Rudder for steering, nose wheel up, pull up. Cool. Only quite a short airfield. This could be interesting landing. Thanks, Ski Man. All these little improvements help, I think, to a more professional production. He says as he crashes his $20,000 SR71 into the ground. Should we try that again? I'm pulling back on the nose this time. There we go. Unfortunately, it's got quite a lot of power, as you can see as it climbs out. Off roll. And throttle back. Let gravity do its work. I find it's difficult because it's black top and bottom, so it can be a little bit difficult. Oh, for God's... Tree! What's the spinny thing? Don't know, what is that? Oh, I'm not going to be beaten. I'm going to fly just... no sims, other sim can do that. It's, unfortunately you can with this. So, you're up. Here we go. Here we go, and turn, and we'll make a fast pass. Flaps up. SR71, screaming down the runway. Interestingly, there's a 2-yearly airliner meet in Germany of huge airliner models and jets like this SR71, which I'm hoping to go to in a few months' time. I didn't intend to go 2 years ago, but I couldn't make it due to other commitments, but I really do hope to go this year. I must get onto that and contact the organisers, but it would be awesome to film big jets like that in operation. And I don't think the SR71 is actually meant to do much more than just go shoo, shoo. It's not supposed to be an aerobatic type thing, although we can do nice rolls with it like that. climbs and half roll and back down, and we'll do that, and then we'll do a landing. See if we can land it. So 4 minutes left. Oh, for God! Oh, come on! Cheat. So I'm going to land. You didn't see that, right? So circling around, full flap. No. Menace GTR, the answer to your question is no, I do not. They do their thing, I do my thing. And good luck to them, that's all I can say. No. Respect that they do work very hard on their channel and whatever, but no, we film at the same events sometimes, but that's as far as it goes. Oh dear, not exactly a perfect landing, but that will do. What a machine. Canopy opens as well. Nice. I'm not sure what that is at the back. What is that at the back that opens up? Anybody know? Let's take off the brake. I'm intrigued. I'm not sure what that is. Anybody care to speculate what the opening is at the back? I have no idea. I think the full size SR71 had a drogue braking chute, didn't it? So anyway, last model for the evening. Shall we try? Should we do? An A380 or an F16? I'm kind of open to options. Let's go A380. Let's go to a different location. I'm kind of exploring. Fuel fill, maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Oh, this is nice. I like this. This is a nice location. So let's see how. Oh, this is interesting. I'm just intrigued as to what else this. What does this have? Ah. Okay. Let's see how. That's button 7. Let's see how that works. Spoilerons. Here we go. Taking off. Gear up. Flaps up. So our last flight of the evening on the Essential RC Aerofly RC8 live stream. But we'll be back at the weekend. Probably doing more driving. I haven't done a bit of driving for a while. That's been fun. Thanks if you've if you've been watching some of the time, then thanks very much for joining us. Again, a quick plug for the channel. You might want to subscribe. Doing lots of stuff, growing very rapidly as a YouTube channel. Biggest in the UK. And one of the biggest in Europe, actually, for RC on YouTube. So, press the subscribe button. You might like to make a small donation. Every bit helps in helping us buy little things that keep the channel going and keeping it entertaining. I wish there was a Concorde in this. Yeah, do you know what? I didn't see Concorde many times, but my wife used to work for British Airways, and we just happened to be at Heathrow. I happened to be at Heathrow picking her up from work, and Concorde, this was amazing. Seeing Concorde taking off at night, honestly, was amazing. Those four engines in full afterburner reheat as it ripped down the runway. Wow. And took off into the night sky, completely pitch black, and you could just see those four big engines in afterburner. Was just spectacular. I wish I'd been there with my 4K camera, but they didn't have 4K cameras back then. You're right, Griff. I will not crash this one, but I am going to chuck it about a bit just in the last few minutes of this this live stream. Yeah, it was. You know, some things you can remember, but I remember that vividly. It was only maybe we did actually watch it taxi out, and I couldn't believe it's like, wow, it's Concorde. And it'd still be breathtaking today, wouldn't it, if it was still flying? But yeah, it was spectacular. Nothing like it today now, is there? Right, flaps, slow pass. Let's put out this spoiler on just to see what effect they have. Oh, lots of drag. Oh. Cheers, Ski Man. We're almost done anyway, so thanks for joining us, buddy. Gear out for landing. Cheers, Victor. Thanks to Menace GTR and everybody who's joined me this evening. It's been fun. He must have been a wealthy chap. Blimey, I don't think tickets were cheap, were they? I went and actually I did get to sit in it one day. It was like very cramped. You couldn't even really stand up. Just a tube. Very claustrophobic. Oh, this is going to be a nightmare to land. Look at that! That's a good landing to end on, I would say. So, flaps up, and spoilerons closed, trays and tables to their normal position, seats to upright position. You can now unbuckle your seats leave your seats and depart the plane for the nearest bar. There we go. Couple of thousand. Imagine how much it would be now if it was still running. It'd be frightening. Right, okay, that is it. That is it. There is no more for this evening anyway. Been a long session, had a lot of fun. But thanks very much for joining us. Hope we can do it again soon. So Ski Man, Victor, Griff, Menace GTR, Gianni, Celian, Gianni, some of you, Azate, who donated £5. Thanks, mate. Owen was with us earlier. DoRC, Nintrance, Donald Lord, Aeronautics fan. Yeah, lots of people joined in this evening. Much appreciated. Okay, so that's it for Aerofly RC8. Have a good Friday tomorrow, and then it'll be the weekend, and we can have more fun. So look forward to that. So take care, everybody, and be back soon. Cheers. Take care.